It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Unbound Brewing Company, and this is a can of their Dark Dimensions. This is a Treacle Toffee Fudge Stout coming in at 4.8% ABV in a 440 milliliter can. It looks absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. It sounds absolutely fantastic. Now, the reason why I'm building this beer up so much, and perhaps I shouldn't, perhaps, I should just get into it and then talk about how good Unbound Brewery stouts are. Their stouts just... The first beer I had from this company was a stout, and it completely blew my mind. It was amazing, absolute kind of top quality stout. So maybe I'm putting a bit too much pressure, a little bit too much kind of like, sticking it on a pedestal. Maybe what I should do is just get it out into a glass and see what we get. Little bit of smoke on the can opening, beer in the glass. Oh, look at this. Look at that black, dark liquid. Look at the head building in the glass. Look at that deep tan coloured head. Oh, carbonation rising up the side of the glass. Look at this. It looks like engine oil, doesn't it? It looks like used engine oil, the old black stuff that gloops out the bottom of your engine when, I don't think many people do engine oil changes anymore, do they? But I often remember years and years ago, my dad would change the oil in his car once a year. He'd get down with a bucket underneath the car, undo the nut, all that black oil would be falling into the bucket. I don't know what he did with it. He probably chucked it over the back wall. I don't know. No, I shouldn't say that. My dad wouldn't do that. He would have taken it to some kind of environmental kind of place and done the right thing. But yeah, look at that. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Doesn't that look tremendous? What I love about Unbound Brewing Company's beers, or certainly their stouts, is that they're not like imperial stouts. They're not like 8% or 7% or 6% for that matter. This is 4.8% ABV, and it is got that just most luxurious, thick, creamy, reassuring look and feel of an imperial stout, but it's 4.8. And I think they put a lot of oats in their beer, a lot of malt, a lot of oats. They really build the mouthfeel up in their beers, and that's what makes their beers so good. Certainly their stouts. Let's get the aroma on the beer then. She's got me salivating. Lots of roasted malt. A little bit of treacle, actual treacle in here. A little bit of chocolate coming through. Smells great. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Stone the crows. Stone the crows. This is a really clever beer. Why is it a clever beer? Because You definitely get treacle. I'm not a massive fan of treacle, if I'm honest. I know it exists. I never really eat it. I've smelt it, I've tasted it, and there's some definite treacle coming through in here. But the other flavours in the beer, I think are actually coming from the malt in the beer. I think they just come in from some roasted malt, some biscuit malt, some light malts, and all of those combinations are kind of coming together. And that's where you're getting your toffee from. There's been many times in beer reviews where I've drank a darker beer, an amber ale or something darker, or a mild, or a stout or a porter. And I've talked about toffee and fudge and biscuits and breadiness. And that's because, of course, it all comes from that very same thing. It's all coming from that kind of lovely biscuit malt. You get some lovely toffee flavours from biscuit malt. You really do. And I think they've used some treacle in the beer as an addition. Maybe they've used a little bit of toffee and fudge, but certainly, I mean, I don't read the back of the can before the beer review. I much prefer to go into a beer review blind. But for me, I think they're using that word toffee and fudge, and they're using that in a very clever way of saying, hey, this is what the malt is tasting like. This is what you should be experiencing from the malt. Bit of a kind of a mind-bending trick, if you like. But there's definitely treacle. It is fantastic, though. The mouthfeel is absolutely exceptional. It's got so much depth to it, so much richness, so much chocolatiness. It's just brilliant, absolutely brilliant beer. And again, it's 4.8% ABV. I'm not talking about an imperial stout here. I'm not talking about a beer that's 8% ABV, which you would fully expect to have all of that big malty body and creaminess and richness and bitterness to it. I'm talking about a beer that looks like an imperial stout. I mean, look at that. If I told you that was an imperial stout, you'd probably believe me, wouldn't you? But it's not. It's 4.8% ABV. This company, Unbound Brewing Company, they produce arguably the best stouts in the UK. They really do. They understand their stouts. I've just reviewed a West Coast IPA, which was great. I've reviewed other styles of beer from Unbound Brewing Company. But I think their massive strength, their biggest, understanding of beer is stout. It's definitely stout. These guys brew arguably the best stouts in the UK. It's wonderful. Full flavoured stout with dark treacle. There we go. There we go. I think I hit the nail on the head there, didn't I? Water, malted barley, gluten, oats, and dark treacle. I promise you, I didn't read the back of the can. I think they've added treacle, which is a brilliant addition to the beer. And then the toffee and the fudge come from the roast, or the malts in the beer, which is very clever. 4.8% ABV. I'm going to rate it. It's well worth your time. It's well worth your money. Stone the Crows, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 beer from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.